The NCAA Volleyball Championship moves on to the second round here in Lawrence, and the hometown Jayhawks are hot, coming off their first Big 12 championship. But Creighton is on a roll too, winning 21 straight, the second longest streak in the country. They face off inside the sold-out Horish Family Athletic Center with a spot in the Sweet 16 on the line. It's Kansas and Creighton. Hello and welcome to Lawrence. Alongside former KU great Jill Dorsey Hall, I'm Lee Fleisig. Well, these two teams know each other fairly well, and they met back in September. A KU win. Does that have any bearing on what happens tonight?
Yes and no. I think familiarity is great, and these teams definitely have it. But keep in mind, these both teams have been on a roll. Creighton rolled through the Big East. They were perfect. And then Kansas has since won the Big 12 title. So they're very different, both playing well. But when you look at Creighton, they're extremely efficient when you look at their hitting efficiency. But what's Kansas' MO has really been their defense and the collective effort in limiting the attacking percentage on their opponents and also digging and making some plays at the net. What's interesting, I think, in that first matchup, one thing that maybe carry over is serve and pass. I think that's always critical. Kansas had 8 aces in that win and Creighton only 3. So it could come down to serve and pass. And also, there's been some personnel changes between these teams.
Creighton survived 5 sets over Northern Iowa in the first round, and Marissa Wilkinson was outstanding.
No doubt. I think she was the X factor last evening for her. And Kansas is going to have to locate her because they used her in a lot of different tempo sets, in front of the setter, behind as well. She was tremendous at a career high 18 kills. And when she hits over 400 hitting efficiency, they're 34-0. So Kansas is going to have to control Wilkinson.
And Jada Burse, who has no tournament experience, was really a standout for Kansas.
Yeah, she is hitting high, she is hitting hard, and she's hitting balls out of system, which is great when you're looking at an outside hitter. In the 3 last matches, she's notched double-digit kills. And when you look at a freshman, I think she's progressed very well throughout the season. And she's a player that didn't play in that match earlier on in Omaha.
Creighton had to play 5 hard sets against Northern Iowa. Kansas swept through in 3 straight. Does that give one an advantage over another?
I don't think so. Creighton had the earlier match last night, so they had time to sit and watch Kansas play. And it's NCAA tournament time, so fatigue is definitely not on play. But it's high-level volleyball, and it should be a great one.
All right, a spot in the Sweet 16 is on the line tonight between Kansas and Creighton. Who moves on? We'll find out next. First Serve coming up here on ESPN. Welcome back to Lawrence. We are ready for second round action here of the NCAA Volleyball Championship. Kansas will be in the white, trimmed in crimson and blue. Creighton in their blue, trimmed in black. For the Blue Jays, what are the keys to the game?
I think they're going to have to move the ball around, spread it around there very efficiently, but they got to get all players involved in first ball side out because Kansas' strength is playing defense. And if they can continue that defense effort on the really spearheaded by the freshman libero Witt, who was tremendous last night, I think they could come out on top of this. They're very capable of ending the number 5 seed.
And how about for the Kansas Jayhawks?
They have to slow down Wilkinson because they have been perfect when she's hit over 400 on hitting efficiency, and they have to be disciplined because Lydia Dimke, a 5-1 system, she's 6'3". She can be very active as a setter. And I think they got to win that battle from the service line where they did in Omaha in that victory. They had 8 service aces to Creighton's 3.
Madison Rigdon gets it started for Kansas. Cassie Wade covers for the Jayhawks to Kelsey Payne. Knocked out of bounds, the Jayhawks on the board first.
And this point was all started with a serve from Madison Rigdon. As Creighton had one option, and that ball was off the net. It was a roll shot, and so then they were able to pick up that ball, make an easy dig, ball back to Kelsey Payne, and she took it with the kill.
There's Wilkinson. Rigdon was there. Cassie Wade has to track it down. Avili sends it over. Wilkinson again. Looked like Burse got a hand on it. Burse able to save it. One-handed stab by Dimke. Burse again. That's Jaylee Winters with a big hit.
And what a long rally, second point in. And it's Jaylee Winters, man, just splitting that block. And Kansas has decided to go with Cheadle because of the defensive presence I think she brings with her blocking. So interesting as they went back and forth between Zoe Hill and Cheadle in that middle blocking position.
Brittany Witt, the freshman, serves. Cheadle. Avili sets it for Payne. Wide, point to Creighton. Witt serves it wide, back to Kansas, 2-all.
Both of these teams are going to go back and serve aggressive. So that was Witt going with a cross-court jump float, and this one was pretty close, almost gets that deep corner. I like the aggressiveness, though, from the freshman.
Winters gets it through the block of Payne and Susie.
It's just a strong attack from the 10-foot line, and Winters pulled off the net. And, man, she is only a sophomore, but an All-American performer for the Blue Jays, and she has just been tremendous all season long. A Big East first-team performer. Now back-to-back service errors from the Blue Jays. They knew they were going to have to come out here and set the tone. I talked to their head coach before the match, Kirsten Bernthal-Booth, and she said, you know, really, Jill, I think it comes down to pass and serve. She does. I mean, those are the things that both of these teams have the offensive firepower. Both of them can really dig in defensively. But if you're not in system, you can't do what you want to do offensively.
Blue Jays go over to Winter. Kelsey Payne was there. Burst, puts it away. Kansas takes the lead.
Man, and Jada Burst, I know we talk about her on the open, but watch her just attack this ball. I mean, she was coming in fast. She approached very strong to this ball. A great backswing, and then that angle, that was a high attack contact point.
Creighton able to answer, though, with Lauren Smith. She played well on Thursday night.
As she did. She was a bit quiet offensively. That's just because the middles were committing. You and I were committing with Smith, but she turned it on defensively. I thought especially in that fifth set she played well. But they were going to look to get her involved.
Jaylee Winters serves. Avili looks for Susie. Kansas tries to dig it out of the net, but can't. Creighton on top.
And that's a huge block when you're talking about Susie on the slide attack. You have Cloth behind there, and you also have Smith pairing up. That's a big wall, and interesting, Kansas is in the 5-1 system, and Havili's on the front row right now, which is Burst and Susie as their attackers.
Nice dig there by Brittany Witt, but point goes to Kansas.
They called it the first double contact of the game on Dimke.
Saw a couple of those on Thursday night.
Yeah, I think Coach Booth was thinking there could be one earlier in this match, but first one being called, and that was pretty tight. So if he's going to set the standard pretty tight, I didn't see that one coming out too uncleanly, but it was called, and just mishit that one as Montero didn't get enough topspin on that ball. It just sailed out of bounds like a knuckleball.
Another of the Kansas freshmen.
A redshirt freshman coming into Kansas with an ACL injury hailing from Puerto Rico, and she has such good ball control at what she brings.
Susie. Cassie Waite there to cover, and now it's Kansas who gets called for the double contact.
And a couple errors now on the side of Kansas. So Creighton has came out here, played a little bit more cleanly early on in this first set, and it doesn't take much. In a game of volleyball, it can be a difference of 1 or 2, and that ball looked like it could have been a double as well.
Cassie Waite with a nice save. Wilkinson. Kansas was there. To Rigdon. Tough angle from Rigdon.
High praises from the head coach from Creighton, just saying, you know, Rigdon is the glue of this Jayhawks team, and so she just is a do-it-all player. First team all Big 12, 6 rotations, and fills up that stat sheet.
Avili was there for Kansas. Tough ball for Close to handle.
Maggie Anderson, one of the 3 seniors for Kansas, a redshirt senior, essentially coming in as a serving specialist. Serves a deep ball, very consistent server.
That one is long from Close.
I didn't see a touch on that play. I think that's a good call. And again, we don't have the ability to replay. So what is called actually stands.
Taryn Close finds an opening and puts it down. This back and forth match continues.
And Cheetah was here. Look at this. She just didn't press long enough with that right hand, and Coach Bouchard quickly to say, just press, just stay a little, press longer and over.
Really goes to Rigdon, and the Mad Dog puts it away.
And it was a fast, simple ball, a bit inside, and Rigdon just knew exactly how to work around this block, and it was a tempo ball. and she had this cross court, and she just beats it there in the deep corner. Witt was set up sharp, and she went deep corner.
Wilkinson showing that she's going to pick up right where she left off on Thursday night.
Yeah, both teams first ball citing out back-to-back points. And Dimke looking at her, a transfer in from Purdue. And what a wonderful transfer into your program. The Big East Player of the Year.
Cassie Wade takes it for Kansas, quickly to Payne. Creighton tries to go fast tempo. The ball goes out of bounds. Point to Kansas.
And I think you could definitely tell that Creighton's trying to establish their middles early in this match. You saw Smith early and active a little bit in that one. I like that they were going to Ballinger on that play. I think she was available, but just misses it.
Service error from Rigdon gives the advantage to Creighton.
We saw Rigdon get off to an early ace last night, but then she was quiet from the service line. So another error.
Rigdon takes that one. Dimke with the save.
And that one looked like it could have came out not clean as well, but not called.
Cassie Wade digs it for Kansas. Burst. Overpass, Burst makes them pay.
And I know you think sometimes of overpasses as gifts, but sometimes they're a little bit higher in difficulty. This one you had to time that because the ball was so high, you had to step back, and it's all about timing on that play. Wonderfully done from Burst.
She is so explosive. She doesn't need much time to elevate, does she?
And she's long. She has extremely long arms. So it's one of those things that you can't really.
That ball off the ceiling and still in play. They make Havili play it. Payne. Good job offensively there for Kansas.
And defensively, defense led to offense on this play. A pickup from Havili. That's why you see Cassie Wade's secondary setting. And then Payne, she said, she even called herself out. She said, listen, I have a tendency to hit angle, but the angle of which she hits sometimes is even tougher to defend. You know she's going to hit angle, but she hits so high that the angle's a little bit different than what you see sometimes.
Rigdon misses from the back row. Creighton within one.
It's been a couple unforced errors where Kansas has given the ball back to Creighton. We've seen this early on, but a back row attack as Rigdon was going after it, just didn't get enough spin on the ball.
Outside to Burst, and she's been hot.
No doubt. And when I talk about it, but Burst did not play in the match in Omaha. It was a 5-set epic battle early in September, and she's had to adjust to, and she's also, keep in mind, in high school, Jada Burst played right side, and that's a hard transition going from the right side. You don't get as many balls. And how about that, an ace from Kelsey Payne, adding something to her repertoire this year.
We talked about the Jayhawks trying to serve more aggressively, and there it pays off.
Yeah, it does, and they're trying to serve low to the top of the net, and that one, it was just a tempo, and the contact point at which Kelsey Payne can serve from, it's really a straight line. Not a lot of loop on the ball when she serves.
Burst and Susie were there for Kansas. Winters has it turned back. It was Havili and Susie. 3 straight points for the Jayhawks, as Kansas is the first of 15. The Jayhawks lead it here in the opening set from Lawrence. Welcome back to Lawrence as the Kansas Jayhawks lead at 15-11 over Creighton. Leif Lysick, Jill Dorsey Hall with you here from Lawrence. And what's your early read in this match thus far?
I think Kansas is locked in defensively. They've had some positive touches, especially I think against Wilkinson. She has only 1 kill on 5 attempts, so she's not hitting those blaring numbers like we saw her last night. And Creighton being held, it's midway through the first set, but .043 hitting percentage, so haven't been as efficient. So they got that 15th point off a huge block and off the hands of Taylor Susie, who looks to only 15 blocks away from being the KU all-time block leader.
Dimke sends it over. Rigdon with a nice left hand. Chance now for Creighton. Dimke again. Cassie Wade was there. Jayhawks can't save it.
And Dimke just makes it very difficult to defend because you have to wait. And I was talking to head coach Kirsten Booth. She said, you know, that teams sometimes they have to, even a split second. And if you can't go a split second early on your releases, you have to stay with her. It makes it difficult to defend. And it really affects both your blockers and your defenders. You're looking at that. That affected Cassie Waite not being able to release as fast and where she's going to set up as well.
Susie, Jaylee Winters there to cover. Really goes back to Susie.
Yeah, good call. It was in that violation. Yeah, but Witt had her hands on that one too. Just working all over the place.
Yeah, you see the touch there. Back to Patricia Montero. Misfired on her first serve, but comes back with an ace.
And that wasn't the hardest ball we've ever seen Montero hit, but what it had was a tremendous spin. And so it looks like it's going to come right into your platform. And it was a seam ball as well. So two players right in that zone. And if you can target the ball right in between two players, you're going to have some success.
Montero with another bullet. But this time it's Creighton who puts it away. Taryn Cloth.
Wonderful response. And that pass was great from Witt. And this led up a Cloth hit, and she's attacking Havili's hands. Don't hit into Susie. Try to attack that line.
Havili wants Rigdon. When we talk about the glue, she just seems to come up big time after time.
And I like how Rigdon goes after right back position. You had Lauren Smith who served and played right back, and that's your middle blocker playing defense. So not only do I like where, you know, her vision and changing it up, but also targeting that zone.
Maggie Anderson serves. Havili was there with the block.
I think she might have heard me saying that she was targeting her hand. She said, I'm going to show you I can block a ball. No doubt, Havili has the ability. Look at that, high rising with that left hand, and just strong as well. And that one feels good. Kansas now 3-team blocks. We talk about Creighton's physicality and everything they can bring offensively, but Kansas was able to out-block Creighton in the earlier matchup, and Kansas has seemed to play loose with a lot of fire. I thought last night in that victory, although we were able to sweep Samford, I thought that they played a little bit, you know, lackadaisical at times, and they did increase their level of play when they needed to, but I definitely don't think there's a good look at his wife Pam and granddaughter Evie in stands again. But I think Kansas, no doubt, has to be pleased with this right out of the gates in set number one.
There's an energy in the building as well.
Yes,
Creighton is only 3.5 hours away, so a lot of Creighton fans here as
and
well.
They're loud.
And they are very loud. But Kansas fans have responded here a little bit tonight, trying to bring a little more energy to the building, it seems.
And I think, you know, you've hosted the last 5 years in a row. So Kansas is like, hey, our volleyball team is good. We're going to support them. They've been sold out all season long. Hard to even get tickets, so hopefully you're all tuning in and watch it at home. But the thing is, I think they appreciate good volleyball, great volleyball, and it's what you become to, and they know the implications. They know how good of a team Creighton is, and tremendous amount of respect to the Blue Jays, as they were, I think, just on the outside looking in on the ability to host the first and second rounds of the tournament. Talking about a team in the RPI 17, so they were that last spot that didn't able to host, 21 in the polls, but this is a team that hasn't lost since the middle of September.
You can see those stands behind the Creighton bench are full. Both teams in blue, but it's Creighton blue behind that Creighton bench.
Good serve from Anderson.
Chance for Kansas to Rigdon.
And it was the serve. And Creighton didn't have the attack that they wanted to have, and Maggie Anderson started this off. So they're able to dig the ball and then get an option out, and it was a wonderfully executed play.
3 straight now for Kansas. It's led them to a 2013 lead. Wilkinson. Pain from her knees, and we called for a double contact there before.
And Dimke is a wonderful server for Creighton, so they can definitely get some things going right now. They have a strong lineup at the net right now.
Rigdon takes it for Kansas to Cheadle.
And there's one, and it's all you need to get some things and some momentum rolling.
Eddie Dimke. Montero for Kansas, back to Rigdon. Rigdon whistles it by. Brittany Witt let it go, and it found the court.
I can understand why Witt thought that ball was going out wide. I mean, that was coming at her shoulders, but it had enough spin to find inside of the court. But look at where she's at, thinking, oh, that's above my shoulders. Oftentimes, if your placement on the net is right, you're going to let it go. But how about that? Trying to put up a triple block, but find some kind of seam with some power is Wilkinson.
Marissa Wilkinson, the 5'11 junior, can bring the firepower. Now Kenzie Crawford, who had a sensational Thursday, career high 17 digs, serves it up. Avili quickly to Payne. That was Crawford with a nice dig. The Jayhawks let that one go, but it falls in.
And it was all set up from the defense. That dig, Payne thought she had a kill, but settled in right on this attack, and then running it down, and then just going after it, just gets it in. Smart shot from Winters.
Rigdon handles a tough ball. Payne puts it away.
And Payne moved it just enough. That last attempt, she hit it more middle back, and so she just moved it a little bit more towards the angle in the deeper corner where no defender was. So I like that, just a tiny minor adjustment.
Rigdon serves, and it's a good one. Cassie Wade covers for Kansas to Payne. Wilkinson again, this time splits the defense.
We mentioned, though, coming off a career high in kills, and she just drives and is up early. Very similar, remember the Iowa State middle blocker, I think, Lazard, and her play.
Really sends it outside to Burse. Nice dig from Crawford. And Jaylee Winters starting to heat up, cuts a tough angle there.
And it's digging in transition and putting a ball away. That's what Creighton's been able to do. And now just going after her right in between the two defenders. Merge has to be made there, I think, in front from Jada Burse to dig that ball.
Winters off the Kansas touch. The Jayhawks track it down. And now it's Creighton with 3 straight points to draw it to 22-20.
Yeah, and it's been a great response. It was a couple positive touches at the net. They weren't terminating blocking, but they were getting an easy run through and digs for their defense to pick up, and they're having some firepower now, getting a lot of different players involved. This is Ballinger on the right side. And this is all because Dimke has 3 options available. You can see that she had a seam in the block, and she attacked it. It's difficult when you have 2 pin players that are executing at a high level. And also when your block is providing some touches, and then Witt. And also, I think Kenzie Crawford has digged a couple hard-driven balls very well.
Part of the Creighton faithful who have watched their Blue Jays dig back into this first set. Down just 22-20 after 3 straight points. What has Creighton done to dig back in this opening set?
Well, not enough goes to be said for their level of maturity and calmness, I think. Even when they should have almost had that 1-1 last night in 3 sets, but I think they have a sense of composure and maturity, and that was one of those things when I was talking to their head coach, Booth, and she said, you know, those are the words that she used to describe them. She says, even when we've been down, they were down against Xavier in the Big East tournament. It was 24-22, and she says, I knew we were going to win. She just said that the look on this team, they never really waver with their emotions. And that's a lot of the game of volleyball, is if you're going to go on highs and lows, but can you stay in that consistent level of play with your attitude, with your effort, with your support of each other? And I think it's something that Creighton has done extremely well.
And she said after the match, I don't think we win that match in August.
Yeah,
the maturity
exactly.
has come along, and fans were asking us, well, was Creighton nervous there after the 4th set? And you said no, you didn't sense any urgent or any problems from the Creighton side, even when when Northern Iowa had drawn it back to even. Payne puts it away for Kansas, and now the Jayhawks 2 points away from this opening set.
Great response from Kansas, and I love this choice. Just high, make Kelsey Payne go up and get that. Dimke was able to dig the first ball on attack from Payne, not the second one. I mean, that's at a level that not many players can hit at, attack it.
Short ball from Waite. She sets it out to Payne.
And Payne, I know that she's been dealing with an ankle injury as of late, but back-to-back points, and it's been a first-team All-American performer, Kelsey Payne, coming through.
Creighton calls timeout as Kansas draws to set points. And a nice set here from Cassie Waite.
She only had 14 attempts last night, which was interesting, I thought. They didn't use her too much. That's totally fine, but she has 5 kills on 13 attempts and the most of the Jayhawks. So you can really tell that they're trying to set the tone with Kelsey Payne.
Payne can elevate. She can dunk a volleyball on a 10-foot basketball rim with ease. I mean, she can get up.
She touches 10-8, so you're going to think that's
elbow on the rim.
That's another level of a contact point. When we talk about volleyball and the differences in some teams that maybe isn't always seen to the naked eye is at what level are they contacting the ball? And they're attacking, the plane of what they're serving. Is it a fast tempo ball? And tempo has a lot to do with the game of volleyball. Is Evie in there? Coach Ray Bouchard's granddaughter and his daughter came in town from Boston for the match. I played with Ashley here, and a good look at Brennan as well, Brennan Bouchard.
Part of the KU basketball coaching staff.
Look at Evie's loving it.
She knows good volleyball when she sees it.
She does, actually, Coach B was joking. They came to the basketball game because they were watching it at home and said, we had to go see Big J and Baby J. We had to go see because Evie loves Big J. And I joked with him, I said, we gave Evie some airtime last night. And he said, I got in trouble, banded, because she had her lovey and she was only supposed to have it at nighttime. So.
The Jayhawks now with set points here in the opening set. Cassie Waite puts it in play. Creighton goes to Winters.
Man, and Winters just seems to be up for the challenge. I mean, in every sense of the game, both physically, both mentally. She is just rock solid.
Ballinger serves for Creighton. Still set point for Kansas. To Payne. KU takes the opening set, 25-21. A hard-fought opening set, but it's the Jayhawks who come out on top. They lead Creighton 1-0 here in Lawrence on ESPN. Lawrence, where the Kansas Jayhawks have taken the opening set over Creighton 25-21. Leif Lysick, Jill Dorsey Hall with you. Creighton was king of the Big East, running through the league perfectly, losing only 5 sets, but Kansas has won their first ever Big 12 championship, and to the victor go the spoils.
And look at that, all up and down the board. Essentially, this is your starters for Kansas. Kelsey Payne, Player of the Year, Anissa Havili, Setter of the Year, Cassie Waite, Libero of the Year. I think unanimous for Cassie Waite. That is awesome. I'm so happy for her. I think that's so deserving. And Ray Bouchard, another Coach of the Year, 3 of the last 4 years. And don't forget, also important, the glue, Madison Rigdon, a first-team performer, Taylor Susie, who has had a wonderful career.
Best blocker in the conference.
Yeah, best blocker in the conference, but second on all-time blocking list. And then Jada Burse, I think really played great in the Big 12 play. So it's going to be interesting if Kansas can stay at that level of play, if Creighton can rise up. It was really midway through that set, I think, that they turned it on, jumping out of that 15-11 lead and never giving it up.
Up to Payne they go. Cheadle and Payne got a hand on that one. Winters from the back row scores first for Creighton. Kansas a perfect 22-0 when they take the opening set, but Creighton can battle back after losing the opening set.
Yeah, they can, no doubt. I mean, they're 3-2 on the season, so they're not going to get deterred and they're not going to go away.
Waite takes it for Kansas, up to Payne. The Jayhawks obviously making an attempt to keep Payne involved in this one.
And they should. She leads the attempts. She has 7 kills on only 1 error, so she's been very effective.
Too low from Rigdon.
A second error from Madison Rigdon, but in the first set, Kansas had 2 aces and Creighton had none. And what I think is even more interesting is Creighton has only allowed one ace in the last 3 matches.
Cheadle pounds away. Kayla Cheadle joins the party.
Wonderful to get Cheadle involved, to get anything going. And she can play at that level and provide some spark. What about that set from Havili?
Winters gets it past Susie this time.
Serving for Creighton, number 2, Brittany Witt.
Witt serves, and it's a good one. Havili tries to dig it out of the net, but unable to.
And there it is, the first ace for Creighton. And comes off the hand of Witt, going with a jump float. And the Kansas service reception here, they have Cassie Waite, Madison Rigdon, and Jada Burst, but you got to think seams are going to go left. And so Rigdon stepping in the seam to take it. Another ball, an errant pass, leads to another point for the Blue Jays.
Lauren Smith there to put it down. 3 straight points for Creighton, and the Blue Jays after a 5-2 lead.
And that's what comes down to timing. Great job from the senior, just waiting on that ball, waiting, and then pressing at the right time. And another pass off the net. No attack on this ball, free ball.
Havili hustles over and digs that one out. Great play from the junior, who was basically in our laps. But the Blue Jays find an opening and go deep corner on Kansas. 4 straight points now for Creighton, and Ray Bouchard wants a timeout, as his Jayhawks have fallen behind 6-2 here in the second set. Creighton has come out firing after losing the opening set. They lead 6-2 here in the second from Lawrence. Creighton has run off 4 straight points to take an early 6-2 lead over Kansas here in the second set. What are the Blue Jays doing to heat things up right now?
Wonderful serving from Witt. There's been 3 straight points where Kansas has had either having to get a free ball or limited options over, and that has led to that high hitting efficiency for Creighton, hitting 600 early on in this set number 2, but nicely done from Witt. Is trying to go angle on this ball, and about that, another ace.
She serves up her second ace.
Cassie Waite trying to step in here. And it doesn't happen too often. Cassie takes so many balls high with her hands.
A lot of smiles on that Creighton side right now. Rigdon takes this one. Back to Payne. Kansas stops that 5-point run. A little extra determination there from Payne as she pounds that ball into the hardwood. Rigdon there for Kansas, but it sails wide.
Creighton right back, first ball side out, and gets the ball right back and keep this 5-point lead. And you can just tell they're just so calm and settled in and know they can control. And it's serve and pass so far on the way of the Blue Jays in set number 2.
Susie. That was a wonderful dig from Kenzie Crawford. She had 17 on Thursday night. I don't know if there were any as good as that one.
You can't see that there, but extending out and just getting that ball up and in transition, establishing their middles, and that's Lauren Smith, the senior. But as you mentioned, Lee, give credit to the defense.
Service error from the Blue Jays sends it back over to Kansas.
The Blue Jays were able to outdig the nation's leading best defensive team last night in UNI. So you know that they can play some defense, and we talk about their offense efficiency and the high numbers and all the things they can bring on that end, but they really battled in and battled against the defensive team.
It's Montero for Kansas. Good serve. Triple block there from Kansas. Rigdon with a joust. The ball bounces through and falls on the Kansas side. Creighton now 10-4.
A strong play here from Demke. See how she was pressing late and it caught Rigdon coming down. So she waited just enough and timed it perfectly.
Demke is strong at 6'3". Montero takes that one and another ace for the Blue Jays.
And that's been the name of the game. And then 3 aces now for Creighton.
Jaylee Winters. Waite takes that one. Out to Rigdon. Rigdon misses high.
And everything right now going Creighton's way. Another errant a pass off the net, a limited options, and trying to get high hands, not getting him. And I think Creighton's mentality after that first set loss is, hey, it's 0-0, so that it's behind them. And I think one of the areas where they've been so successful this year is they've been able to mentally do that. And then sometimes in volleyball, I mean, the bad thing, but also the beauty of volleyball, Coach said it best last night in her comments. She said is that if you're playing well, you want to keep the score. But if you're not, but how about this? Maggie Anderson says, hey, let's go. We can do this. We can climb back in this. And sometimes all it takes is an ace on their side. And that one you can see just drops in there.
Senior drops the bottom out of it. And another deep serve. Winters pounds away. Kansas stabbing at it, but can't control.
And you look at the side of the Blue Jays, Winters has been very efficient as 8 kills, only 1 error herself, 467 for your Penn player.
She was really good against Northern Iowa, wasn't she?
Very good. I mean, she definitely is that player that gets the bulk of their swings and attacks. And
then you see the power from Kelsey Payne.
So right now you have Kelsey Payne, your go-to player on the front row. So if Kansas wants to try to bite into this lead, maybe this is the time where you can do it.
Nice save from Havili. Rigdon has to roll it across. Wilkinson. Cassie Waite gets a left hand on it. Rigdon there with the stop.
A lot of fire, one-on-one. And it takes a strong hand because Wilkinson's coming with some heat.
Havili puts it in the net, sends it back over to Creighton. That'll be Lydia Dimke to serve, the Big East Player of the Year. Havili sends it over to Rigdon. Winters was there to cover. Back to Winters. Waite is there. Havili wants Rigdon. And the Mad Dogs coming up big. Kansas trying to fight their way back into the second set, down 5.
This is not a system ball that Rigdon makes it look easy. I mean, she does. I mean, when she's on the 10-foot line, you almost don't know when it's her just because she can hit so many different spots on the floor.
It takes that one. Right down the line and perfect from close.
And to serve the Creighton number 10, Kenzie Crawford.
Kenzie Crawford puts it in play. Havili to Payne. No touch there, point to Creighton.
And you mentioned Kenzie Crawford, she's just been everywhere for the Blue Jays. Her and Witt on that back row. They've been great for Creighton.
Kansas wants a timeout, trying to stem the tide here. The Blue Jays have built some momentum, no doubt, here in the second set.
Yeah, they've really let that first set go, and they've picked up their level of play. They played great. I mean, we knew that Kansas necessarily couldn't. I mean, they could, but it was going to be difficult to run away with this. As Creighton, it went 5 sets earlier this year. They played a very high level, and they've just been better in this second set thus far. They've been more efficient offensively. They put a ton of pressure on the service reception of Kansas. It's led to some out-of-system balls, limit to their options offensively, and they've taken advantage of it. They've dug some balls.
As we mentioned, plenty of Creighton fans made the drive down to see their team not only tonight, but Thursday night against Northern Iowa.
Yeah, it's been a great atmosphere, and they've been sent to Lawrence, Kansas for the regional 3 of the last 4 years. So a familiar drive.
They know their way down,
They know
don't
their way downtown, but it's not always been in this facility. They played a couple years in Allen Fieldhouse.
Kansas leads this all-time series since 1994 when Creighton brought volleyball back 8-1. They are 5-0 here in Lawrence, but coaches may say the stats may be just shaded a little bit, but they've been hard-fought matches.
They've been very hard-fought matches, and Coach B told me, he said, you know, I think this might be Pearson's best team that he's seen from Creighton, so he gave them a ton of high praise.
Wade takes it. Payne has to push it across.
And when I looked, Leaf, at the schedule earlier this season, when I looked and I look at, you know, Kansas's non-con, I'm like, God, first when I look, I'm like, man, Creighton at Creighton, that is going to be tough. It really was. And I don't think either team played at the level of their capabilities. I think both teams have improved immensely since then.
That one won by Kansas in 5 sets.
15-13 in the 5th.
Wilkinson. Cassie Wade dives, but can't get a hand under it.
And this one off the top of the block, and Cassie Wade just out. She has such great range, but couldn't run through that one in time. Has to respect the line shot that Wilkinson can bring. And I think they're going to sigh a deep breath as Witt was on a tremendous serving run last time she went back to the service line and misses that one.
Jayhawks down 6 as Payne serves. Nimke has to track it down. Chance for Kansas. Avili dumps it over. Tough ball to handle, and Avili made something out of it. Payne serves just long.
And when you look at the ace air battle, both teams 5 service airs, both teams 3 service aces. So they're knotted, they just come in different sets. Kansas has those aces, 2 of those aces, 2 of those 3 in the first set, and Creighton has had the hot hand in the second set.
Avili and joust at the net, but it's Creighton who ultimately wins it and turning that into a point. You'd take that 1-to-1 ratio, would you not, aces to airs?
Yeah, you take it, but you also, you know, you want to win that battle against your opponent. And it's also sometimes the timing of which they come, right?
Jada Burse.
And with the triple block, she still gets it done. Not a player that does a lot of tipping or roll shots. So I think they're adjusting, trying to say, hey, in that rotation, when they only have 2 attackers, we're going to go ahead. If we have all 3 blockers available, we're going to go all at and have 6 hands at the net, but still gets so deep in the floor.
This is Addie Berry for Kansas. Trickles it off the net for an ace.
And we saw Addie Berry last night, and coach reasoning for that, she's a little spark plug. I don't think there's many times when we look at the sidelines, Addie Berry isn't smiling or dancing or just having a good time. I mean, that's something definitely that she brings to the floor.
Again off the net. Back-to-back aces for Berry. Kelsey Payne picks her up. Now it's Creighton who wants a timeout.
Well, sometimes the ball can just roll your way.
The Jayhawks practice that, do they not?
They do. You do. You try to serve as lowest to the top of the net as you can. So if you were to draw a line from the top of the antenna across the other, you want to serve in between the top of the net, the tape, and then in between that. So if you think of that, and in practice, oftentimes coaches will put a string, and so you have to serve right in between that because a let serve is live. It didn't always used to be live, but now it is. And look at that, our teammates are really just ecstatic and elated for her. Give her credit, you know, coming off the bench, she hasn't played in this match thus far. And back-to-back aces.
And there's no bullpen. You're not warming up over there. Yeah. Look at the KU band. The Jayhawks certainly bring a great presence to volleyball, and it's been such an outstanding season, and this community in total has really embraced this team.
Yeah, well, they haven't lost at home this season. Last year, only lost 1 match. So essentially in the last 2 years, There hasn't been a lot of defeats in Horace Fame Athletic Center. So when you take that into account, Creighton has, you know, really it's tough in front of them, but they're very capable. And they're leading in this second set. It's just going to be, got to shore up the first pass. You got to think you're not going to be 3 times in a row and she can clip the top of the net, but just settle down, steady out this pass, get a first swing, a good clean swing at the ball. Dimke is live as a setter at a 5-1, so she's at the net. She has Winters and Smith available as attackers.
Berry gives it a little extra margin this time. Dimke dumps it over. Wide.
Man, and Cassie Waite, she doesn't have to make that play, and it is a point her way, but she was right there all the way.
4 straight points now for the Jayhawks. 2 big aces from Addie Berry. Berry goes wide this time. But a nice service run for the junior from Topeka. We saw Jaylee Winters get on a nice run herself last night. Serves it, Berry takes it. Out to Rigdon. Creighton plays it out of the net nicely. Up high to Avili. Nice dig from Dimke. Avili wants Susie this time. Taryn Cloth. And you can see the respect that they have to play to
Yes.
Dimke.
And that was just a wonderful play, and then a choice too from Dimke. At 6'3", you can get to balls at height that maybe some other players can't get to when you're a setter.
Susie. Berry with a nice dig. Rigdon puts it through the defense. Kansas still alive, down 4.
And a solid coverage from Addie Berry. I mean, to even pick that ball, it was close, and it was almost going to be right. A decision of is it in or is it out, and I definitely think that ball is in. So she picked that up with one hand. Play is extended. Kansas winning the rally.
It's Kayla Cheadle for Kansas as the Jayhawks are within 3.
And now on the Kansas side, Havili holds the blocker here. So watch, it's close. She's in the front row, so you could see that jump up and down. So Cloth has to jump with her, so then it's a one-on-one attack between Cheadle and Smith.
Avili dumps that one. The Blue Jays are there. That one gets through Cheadle. Point to Creighton. 3 points away from evening it up at a set apiece.
And I think that one comes down to scouting. They were ready for Havili's dump. They were locked into that.
Lauren Smith. It's an ace.
How about that from your middle blocker? Line-to-line serve. And it's so tough to judge. Those are balls that come a little bit higher on that floater because they just fall, they drop.
This time Berry plays at Cheadle. Lauren Smith was there. Melissa Wilkinson takes Creighton to set points. 3 straight points now for the Blue Jays. Really tries to dump. Wait to Rigdon. Winters from the back row, it's long.
No touch. They were pleading for a touch, but I don't think there was a touch on that. But Winters was aggressive. You know, she's coming up with some firepower.
Jayhawks save 1 set point. And Issei Avili serves. Wilkinson. To Payne. Avili was there for Kansas. Back to Payne. Kansas saves its second set point. That one is down. Close gives the Blue Jays the set, 25-20. And we're even at a set apiece. You knew this was going to be a good one. We're going to intermission, even between Kansas and Creighton. Welcome back to Lawrence, where we're even at a set apiece between Creighton and Kansas. At the intermission, Lee Fleisig alongside Jill Dorsey-Hall, and you thought this was going to be a good one, and it really has been, as you look at Creighton, led by Jaylee Winters, who had a sensational Thursday night, and she picked up right again on Friday.
Yeah, she did. She's been great, and I think she's been a steady force and bringing a ton of powers. 9 kills, only 2 errors, hitting .350, and that's your pin player. And she's doing it all the way around. And then on the other hand, Kelsey Payne, similar numbers, 10 kills on 2 errors, hitting .364. So both of these, a clear cut. They're leaders of each of their squad, and I think that total blocks, Kansas out blocking. But when you come down to it, I think it was a serve and pass ball game where Kansas was able, in that first set, they had 2 aces, Creighton not able to register one. And then in that second set, Creighton had 4 aces that really jumped them out to that early lead, and Kansas could never climb themselves back in.
All right, we're even at a set apiece, and we talked about this last night after Kansas advanced. We watched Creighton play 5 sets against Northern Iowa. You thought this was a pretty even matchup. They went 5 sets earlier this year at Creighton, and did you expect anything less?
No, I'm excited. I just appreciate good volleyball, but I think, and as a former libero, I appreciate pass and serve, and I really do think that has been the difference thus far in this match and how this one could maybe end up.
All right, Kansas and Creighton even at a set apiece. We're here at intermission in Lawrence, and what will be the difference between these two teams in the third set? We'll find out as the Jayhawks battle Creighton for the right to go to the Sweet 16. That's next here on ESPN from Lawrence. Welcome back to Lawrence, where we are a set apiece between Creighton and Kansas. Lee Fleisig, Jill Dorsey-Hall with you. You are the eyes and ears of volleyball around the country, at least on this side of the table, and you've had your fingers on the pulse of the tournament thus far. What do you see in the first round elsewhere? Well,
I was interested in a couple of those matches. I mean, all of them, but even more so in the TCU-Wichita State matchup that was in Nebraska. So the winner of that, I mean, that's TCU, gets to face Nebraska. And then also Missouri State, Ohio State. That was a rematch where Missouri State won earlier in the season, 3-1. Ohio State gets revenge. That one's in nearby Manhattan, Kansas. And I think also interesting, A&M coming from the SEC, SMU was able to sweep them. And then Pitt taking down Dayton. Dayton Flyers, always a great team as well. But I just love this time. I mean, there's so much parity. Also, I think that just in, Hawaii had an epic 5-set battle against USC where they were able to win 15-13. So that was another great one. And that winner, so Hawaii gets to probably maybe take on Minnesota up in Minneapolis.
All right, we've got a good one here, a set apiece between Kansas and Creighton. Who has the advantage, at least coming out in terms of body language, excitement coming? Creighton is storming back in the second set. Do they carry that over after that intermission?
I think they definitely came out here after intermission and running with some confidence, but the Kansas bench, looking at them right now, always jumping around and dancing and showing some energy and getting some things going. See if Kansas can replicate that energy that they had in that first set after Creighton had responded. And every team kind of has their personality and their vibe. And I think if you were to describe these two, you look at Kansas and they're energetic and they're dancing around and they're having that. And Creighton has been consistently just calm, just a different demeanor about them. So it doesn't mean one is more excited than the other. It just means that they carry themselves and they go about their business in a different way.
Maybe the important thing is they're both in their routine right now as Rigdon puts it in the net to start the third set.
Well, it hasn't been the Rigdon serve that we've seen leading the Big 12 in aces per set. That has been the difference thus far. And on the other hand, it was no doubt the Witt serve in the second set for the Blue Jays.
Jada Burse, Wood able to play that one. Wheatley will try Payne this time. Jada Burse got a hand on it, but it went wide. 2-0 Creighton.
And goes out wide, and this is just a bang-bang play.
First was up there high, though, wasn't she?
And she was, but a clear cut. I mean, it doesn't matter how far it goes. It's still out of bounds.
Payne up high. Dimke got a hand on it. Now Witt will send it over. They really wanted Cheadle. Crawford made a nice diving stab, but Creighton can't keep it up.
You can just see right now early on is Creighton's getting a lot of positive touches just with hands, and those can lead to digs and keeping them up, but they're definitely touching the ball. Kansas is not seeing a lot of balls just hit the floor right off without a hand touching it.
Outside to Winters. Burst covers, back to Payne. Too strong for Lydia Dimke.
And this one's just too much, and the angle of which she's attacking this is tremendous. And that had a lot of pace. Extreme angle from Payne.
Jaylee Winters pounds away.
And that's Winters, has 10 kills now in the match. So first player for Creighton Blue Jays to register double-digit kills.
Payne up high. To Susie. Witt was there. Payne again. That was Crawford. Cassie Wade answers. Bursts through the Creighton defense. Even at 3.
And I know Creighton didn't win that point, but that will give you some confidence. And when you're able to pick up balls and make it this frustrating for a team to pick up that point, I mean, that can really get hard at sometimes. But I love that response, though, from Burst. I mean, that was a huge point that Kansas, I think, needed to win. It was a long rally.
Kansas unable to play it. It's Creighton who takes the lead.
Serving for Creighton, number 5, Jamie Winters.
Winters, a sophomore, serves. Really to Burst. Boy, the freshman is really shining, isn't she?
Yes, she is. And she's starting to, really just increase her level. And I'm being honest when I say this. I think she's played better in every single match that we have seen her. There hasn't been a time since she is, came into her career and only in her freshman campaign, but every match I'm like, man, she's doing some things. She's learning. She's making adjustments. She's getting more confidence.
Too strong from Payne, from Taryn Cloth.
And Cloth hits this line shot so well. I mean, she goes up and able to control it. Plays with such length, as I'm talking about Cloth at 6'4" on the outside.
Really a tough set. Susie was there. Winters from the back row. Off of Ely. A point to Creighton.
Such a nifty shot here from Winters.
Up for Susie.
Well, Susie's been fairly quiet for the Jayhawks. Only her second kill, involved in only 1 block. And we've definitely seen there's been times where she's taken over the match for Kansas.
Rigdon dives in to save it. Payne from the back row. That one off Cheadle. As Cloth scores it again.
And here, just out of system ball, and it came down to timing on that play, not pushing out with her left hand for Cheadle. So Cloth just varying up her attacks, going line, going angle, even off the net.
Thank you with a nice serve. Rigdon. Pass Brittany Witt.
Serving for Kansas, number 11, Anissa Havili.
Back over to Creighton now after the service error.
Entering to serve for Creighton number 10, Kenzie Crawford.
Kenzie Crawford for Creighton. Really sets it for Rigdon. Crawford got a left hand on it. Wood has to bump it across. Avili goes out to Payne. The Jayhawks within one.
And this is difficult to defend. A double quick here. So really you think that they're going to commit to your middle, then you have Payne one-on-one, but it's still a fast tempo ball. So it's one of the best combo plays I think Kansas runs. And right back with some tempo is
Marissa
Creighton.
Wilkinson.
And they're able to do that because of the pass from Witt. I mean, she had them perfectly in system here. I'm not sure why they're serving Witt. I think you try to avoid her. I mean, she's been dynamite with her platform.
Outside to Burse. Witt is there. To Winters. Off Payne. You know, in any sport, you wonder how freshmen in their first experience in a championship environment will respond. Well, Brittany Witt and Jada Burse have just been sensational this week.
And
Witt serves up another ace.
Once again. And when their head coach was recruiting, Kirsten Berthal Booth, she said, 2 people came up to me, different people, and they said, she's just special. And she said that to her. And she said, you know, there's just something about her. She's a winner, and there's something special about her. And she is no doubt shining in her first NCAA tournament.
3 straight points for Creighton. Burse ends the run. She's not unlike Cassie Wade on the other side of the net, is she?
Oh,
I mean, both of them, you just know, have been winners and have a way of leading their team. Even though she's just a freshman, you can see how bright the future is for her. Chance for Kansas now. Avili to Susie.
And Susie, so smartly, as she does here, goes up and just a changeup. She knows that she might be, if she hits low, she's going to hit it straight down. She's going to get right into that block. So what does she do? She takes the high road, high hands, and taps it over. It's more about tempo on that and placement.
Really sets it for Burse. That one's long.
Entering to serve for Creighton number 8, Samantha Bonet.
Samantha Bonet in. Serves up an ace. And now Kansas wants a timeout as Creighton takes a 4-point lead. The Blue Jays serving aggressively and running out to a 4-point lead here in the third set. Kansas won the first. Creighton came back in the second, and now they lead in the third from Lawrence. It's the Blue Jays here in the third set with a 13-9 lead over Kansas. Coaches always like to say it's fundamentals, but it's kind of been that way for Creighton.
Yeah, it has. I mean, serving aggressive. They have 2 service aces in this third set. They had 4 in the second set. They won the second set. They're leading in this third set.
Patricia Montero in. Crawford there to dig it. Payne turns that one back. Kansas pulls within 3.
There's this press over from Kelsey Payne. Kansas needed that one. They're able to outblock though right now. 5-team blocks to Creighton's 2.
Montero digs it. Winters was there. Jada Burse. High off the hands, then out of play.
And Montero in that rally had a wonderful dig on the back row attack.
Winters. Avili got a hand on it. Wait. Tried to save it, but it's point Creighton.
A steady side out there from Creighton. And it was Winters once again. 13 kills now, 370, and that's from your pin player. So she's done what she needed to do. On the other side, Jada Burse also doing a great job for Kansas, hitting 389.
Payne winds up.
Touch. Yeah, I think there was a touch.
Point to Kansas. The Jayhawks pulled within 2 here in the third.
Well, Addie Berry in that second set had back-to-back aces, so she was that spark. So Coach B deciding to sub her and see if she can get some things going with that aggressive serve. Again, I'm not sure why they're targeting Witt.
Off the ceiling, but still in play. Kansas can't save it. Brittany Witt has been rock solid, hasn't she?
Yes, she has, and I think you go away from her. I know she's taking so much space on the court, so it's almost like in some regards, she's taking half the floor, so it's hard.
Too long for Avili, and the Blue Jays take advantage. Well, what's the comfort level when you've got a libero who can cover basically half the backcourt?
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's great, and it looks easy sometimes. It's not always easy.
Susie battles at the net, but Taryn Cloth comes away the winner. 3 straight points now for the Blue Jays.
And this is just a tough play. Look at this, but a dig that keeps this one, and I'm not sure if this ball was going to be in bounds if you're Taylor Susie. So you might want to leave this one and let that ball go wide. But man, Creighton once again responding. Now they definitely have the upper hand in this third set. Look at this dig here. It's just enough of it. Taylor Susie attacking this. It's going to be close. That one is going to be close. And the overpass. Deflection right into her lap, so she couldn't avoid touching that one. And the Creighton Blue Jay fans loving it, what they're seeing right now. Their squad up in this, and third set can oftentimes be so pivotal. You don't win this one, your back's against the wall.
Great tradition from Creighton volleyball, and Kansas has built a wonderful tradition. You've got a banner on the wall there for NCAA tournament appearance. Both teams trying to get back to the Sweet 16. And I think the word spread up towards Nebraska that Creighton was on a roll. It looked like a few more Creighton fans in here tonight than we saw Thursday.
And they've been extremely efficient offensively. They've had 11 kills, only 1 error in this set. So doing what they want with the ball with their attackers. And again, you got to look, it gets a lot of credit to not only but your defensive players and your service reception core to have your setter and system to have all the options, but also Demke. You look at a player running a 5-1 system, running 32 assists. Both setters, you know, Havili on the other end of on the floor for Kansas and the first-team All-American in her own right.
Lauren Smith puts it in play. Havili feeds Rigdon. But Creighton is there for the challenge. Was it Demke who got a hand on it?
It was Demke that really closed that block and pressed in with that left hand.
Four straight points now for the Blue Jays. Payne from the back row. Make it 5 straight.
And what a run now from Lauren Smith, the middle blocker out there, back there serving. Kansas having a tough go with this rotation right now.
Back to Rigdon, cuts a tough angle. Kansas breaks the run.
And it was more about pace, taking off enough. And Maggie Anderson walked on immediately, saying, let's go. Let's try to, so she's gonna try to come in, serving specialist and bring a bit spark to the Jayhawks, now down by 6.
Havili was there. Havili again. Addie Berry covers.
How about it? That's your setter.
When your setter can hit like that.
Well, and keep in mind, when she was at Purdue, she was an attacker. So it's comfortable for her to go up and swing. Coach Booth told me, she said, you know, if we didn't have her set full time, she could definitely attack. I mean, she was a player that was utilized both in the setting and she attacked when she was in the front row.
Rigdon, Wood is there to cover. Wilkinson, Havili digs it. Creighton has taken 7 of the last 8 points, out to a 21-13 lead.
They're just playing solid, consistent volleyball. And Kansas has had a couple unforced errors, but they've also led them. And how about that? Another ace. When we talk about the game of serve and pass, they've definitely had the upper hand since that first set. They've settled down. And what they're doing, it's a tough jump floater with a pace, placement, diving as well.
That one goes outside the lines as Zoe Hill hit it. The Jayhawks end a 3-point run from the Blue Jays, but they're down 22-14. Payne was there with a big block. Kansas trying to turn the momentum. Wilkinson hasn't turned back. Looked like Rigdon, and Kansas has won 3 straight, and it's Creighton who wants a timeout.
Well, not so fast. Back-to-back blocks. Defensive, that's what Kansas done all season long, is making some plays on the defensive end when they've needed to and their backs against the wall. But now they're running out a little bit of time. Only 3 points away if you're Creighton. So I like this timing of this timeout from Coach Booth to call this, settle her squad down. And she's like, hey, it's okay. It's all right. Let's come back. Let's talk about matchups. Let's see where we're going to go. And I think if you're Kansas, go back there, serve aggressive. You got to get them out of system as much as you can, limit it, and then just lock down and make some plays. You got to, if you're Kansas, you got to make some plays right now.
We talked about the maturity level for Creighton. They didn't get flustered on Thursday night when they ran after the first 2 sets and looked like they were ready to close out Northern Iowa, and the Panthers scrapped back and win the next 2. Creighton stepped back out on the court in the 5th set and took care of business.
And Creighton's young. I mean, when you look at this team and their roster, they have got a lot of youth. So the future is so bright as well. But in this squad, I mean, you have a pair of freshmen in Witt and Ballinger. You have Jaylee Winters, a sophomore, and Cloth, a sophomore as well. And Lauren Smith is one of those seniors, but Wilkinson, a junior, Demke, a junior.
All right, it's Elise Havili for Kansas. Her Jayhawks down 6. Wilkinson pounds away. Havili was there. Wilkinson again.
When we talk about her being the X factor last night. And look at this, a rally. And then just up and over and that line. It's tough to defend on that right side. It's tough to defend an opposite, I think, for most teams, because a high percentage of sets go to the outside of the pin and not necessarily behind all the time.
Demke there to dig it. Winters swings. Payne puts it away. Rigdon with an effective serve to Winters. Off the Kansas hands, and now it's set points for Creighton.
And who else but Witt going back to serve. And the Blue Jays have been tough. They haven't faltered. Kansas had back-to-back blocks, but responded.
Payne
Kenzie Crawford.
Crawford was there to cover. And it's Creighton taking this third set, 25-17. Blue Jays lead it now, 2-1. A set away from the Sweet 16 here in Lawrence. Creighton has taken a 2-1 lead here in Lawrence. Lee Fleisick, Jill Dorsey Hall with you, and boy, the Blue Jays came out on fire during that third set.
Yeah, they did, no doubt. I mean, they were effective and efficient. High hands. Jaylee Winter, 16 kills, hitting .406. And then also pass and serve was the name of the game, I think, in these last two sets. And why Creighton was the victor. In that first set, they had no aces, and in the last two, they have notched 7 team aces. Blocking, Demke, I thought was wonderful all the way around. Wilkinson late in that set as well. And it's the loudest we've heard this crowd right now is, hey, you lose, you go home if you're Kansas. And they need this support. They need this energy. They need this crowd to get involved. Kansas not giving them a ton to cheer about in that third set, but they're going to have to. I know it's cliche, every point matters, but yeah, no doubt.
Especially now.
And Creighton, here's the thing about Creighton. I don't know if they're going to be fazed by it. I mean, they've just been so solid, mentally and the way they play.
Kelsey Payne hammers it away emphatically and says, let's go. Kansas takes the lead, 1-0.
Well, a thunderous kill. And she turns around to her team saying, let's go.
Aaron Close points to herself and says, my bad.
Well, and it was funny because Cassie Waite was going to emerge and she hit the floor and she had a big chuckle as the senior knows that her last opportunity to play on this beloved floor, a floor that she's found the ground so many times in her career.
Burst and Susie got a hand on that one. Burst swings away, and it's Kansas out to a 3-0 lead.
And Burst again, high and hard and deep is what the name of the game is. It's a recipe for success for the freshman. And I know we talk about Kelsey Payne and the height at which she can touch, but Jada Burst brings a lot of that as well. 10-4, 10-5, making tremendous volleyball plays, not just with athleticism, but some smart volleyball plays as well.
Winters goes to the ground to get that one. Jada Burst covers. Payne. Dimke with another dig. But Payne says not this time. Kansas with 4 straight points to open the fourth set. The Jayhawks come storming out in this fourth set. Down 2-1, but they lead here in the fourth. Nothing in Lawrence on ESPN. The hometown Jayhawks have stormed out to a 4-0 lead here in this fourth set. After dropping the third to Creighton, they trail 2-1. But the Kansas faithful have really spurred their team on here.
And there's definitely parts in this crowd that I don't know if they're going to sit the rest of the match. They might just stay on their feet.
Susie with a big block. Kansas up 5-0.
And here it is. It's Wilkinson in the middle, but Kansas not fooled. They had a double block here as Burst was pinching in on this play. And Taylor Susie climbing, getting closer to that career block record.
Cassie Waite saves it with a left hand. Wilkinson. Brigden with a nice save. Waite jumps over her to save it. Too strong this time from Taryn Close.
Man, but Kansas positive touches, as we saw from the set before from Creighton. And getting a couple touches and getting themselves an opportunity to extend the rally, but too much from Close. And that was heavy heat cross court.
Really sends it over to Payne. And the Payne train operating now at full strength. serves up 6-1. Wilkinson puts it away for Creighton. Matching power for power.
A wonderfully executed pass there from Creighton, able to run that fast, simple ball.
Jada bursts, just long.
And this is close. And we're gonna take a good look at it here. Is going up, I think shading line. Ooh. Yeah, I think that one might have been in. I do, I think that one might have been a missed call here, but.
No video challenges,
no video
here in this round.
An overpass now. Now that's essentially back to back. You got to move on. You got to move on if you're Kansas. You move on, settle down. And Coach B is upset, saying, you missed that call, but.
Outside to burst, high off the hands. Dimke was there. Witt answers on the Creighton side. Taylor Susie, the senior, comes up big with her second big block. Addie Berry back into serve.
No touch.
Long from Lauren Smith.
Lauren Smith trying to get those hands. Just misses him. And now Kansas back up to this 4-point lead that they ran out to, starting at 4-0 in this fourth set.
Berry tickles the net again. Nice shot down the line. Megan Ballinger.
Great shot from the freshman. And talk about composure. Their team needs a swing, and they've been successful, Creighton has, when sets go behind the setter, or they've run any offense behind, of really attacking that line, a line to line, which isn't as always the easiest attack to make.
Havili dumps to the left hand. Kansas leads 9-5.
Now Fast and Furious, there's the name of the game from Havili. She's a live attacker on the front row right now for the Jayhawks.
That's an ace.
Maggie Anderson, a big smile. So where I think the difference has been in this match is what team can lead in that ace category. And that one clearly, I think that one was in, but two close calls now for the officiating crew here, but no challenges.
Dimke dumps it. Maggie Anderson with nice coverage.
Man, Witt, how about that? That was wonderful.
Making plays all over the court. Jaylee Winters goes down the line.
And I know Winters gets the kill, and that's great, but man, Witt, the freshman libero, to extend the rally. And then not a lot of room to work with in transition, but composes herself, gathers, and then finds the open floor.
– 11-6 Kansas. Anise Havili. Dimke digs it out. Havili there for Kansas. Wait, sets it for Payne.
Man, it just seems to have a little bit more pop right now from Payne. A little bit more velocity. What she's attacking with. And the secondary set rolled up there by Cassie Waite. Anise Havili struggled a bit this evening from the service line.
It's Lauren Smith for Creighton. Really sends it over to Zoe Hill. Creighton, no, touched the floor.
Serving number 14, Madison Richter.
Wilkinson powers it. Avili saved it. Wade comes into our lap to play it. Wade back to Payne. Chance for Creighton. Cassie Wade digs for Kansas. Jada Burse. (14-7) Kansas.
Dig right there. Cassie Wade just settled in. And then Jada Burse. Now the second Jayhawk double digit. And how about that? Again, an ace. And I know it's simplifying the game probably a little bit too much, but serve and pass here. Kansas now coming back with a pair of aces in this fourth set.
The Jayhawks running out with 5 straight points to make it 15-7. The bench loves it. We saw Rigdon serve so effectively on Thursday. Maybe starting to find a little rhythm here tonight.
It's just been a bit quiet. And we've seen the ace leader in the Big 12 has 3 service errors, but how about that? Notching her first ace of the match. The Bouchard family loving what they're seeing right now in this fourth set. Little Evie waving that flag. And you know, something to be said now for home court advantage. I mean, this fourth set came along. I thought the crowd was great in the first set for the Jayhawks, the set that they were able to win. And it was loud in here, it was intense. They provided, I think they helped the team out with some, energy. And now again in this fourth set, they started, the entire crowd was on their feet in the moment that the whistle blew to start of this fourth set. And in almost every point, we're hearing a cheer or a chant and definitely getting involved. The Cheadle family involved here is a twin sister playing on the basketball team and in attendance. Knows how sweet it will be, it can be for either team to notch a Sweet 16 berth.
All right, Kansas leads 15-7 here in the fourth. Creighton leads 2-1. One of these two is going back to the Sweet 16. Cassie Wade takes that shot. Jada Burse. Off the net. Taryn Cloth.
Well, Cloth decided to go heavy the last 2 swings, but what does she do? She changes it up, and that's how they ended that second set. So I think that she's had some success with it, and I think that was great communication and vision from the sophomore.
Zoe Hill punches that one through.
Man, she's quick off her feet, isn't she? I mean, she's almost just like a spring. She's so light and fast off her feet, up into the air. Talk about undersized. I know you play of Amy Hill from Northern Iowa last night, but how about the undersized play of your middle blocker, Zoe Hill, freshman herself? Maybe 5'10" at best, but jumps, man, she can jump so well.
Winners from the back row.
And the net, a net violation from Kansas. It was Taylor Susie.
Ballinger serves. Payne pounds away, but it's wide.
An attack that they like here, going after that, just missed it. A good call from the official here, going wide.
Up to Susie. Wilkinson was there. Wait. Sends it over to Payne.
And out once again, I believe.
But a point to Kansas.
Now we're getting a net violation.
I didn't see the number, but
I didn't either.
Kansas gets the point, 17-10.
I think that attack was going to go out wide once again.
Wilkinson, too strong for the Kansas defense.
And Creighton settled down, I think, as this fourth set has progressed. I think they have. They're finding some things and some success. And Wilkinson going up a triple block and gets enough of that. She had either tip shot available as well, either side.
Witt with a good serve. Kansas goes to Burse, who was over there, but Crawford. Burse again, that hit the antenna.
Pushed out wide on that, and Havili says, that's my bad for pushing you out too far. As Jada Burse had to play defense inside the court there, so it was just pushed out as she had a transition. Not enough time to work out there. She's going inside out instead of outside in on that attack.
Burse pounds away. Kansas gets it to 18.
That one had a lot of pop on it. Love to play the freshman in this match. How about it?
It's been great. Addie Berry with a tough serve. Just cleared the net. Rigdon got the block.
Here we go. A little step out and up and over for Rigdon. And now Kansas definitely winning that battle at the net when you talk about blocks, terminating blocks. 10-team blocks to Creighton's 4, but Creighton's had a lot of positive touches at the plane of the net, but they necessarily haven't been terminating.
Susie got a hand on that one. Winners again.
Uh-oh.
Somebody was in the net. It was Creighton.
I just saw Susie hit the ground. You never want a player to, fall or
3 straight points.
Get injured.
They're taking Kansas
stage.
to 20.
Yeah, and this has been a great response in this fourth set thus far from the Jayhawks, and serving aggressive. They've been in system with their pass.
Havili dumps it over. Ballinger was there. Susie pounds away. The senior gives Kansas a 21-12 lead. 4 straight points for the Jayhawks.
That gets it inside the hand, the angle, and Taylor Susie. Taylor Susie, it's not always about pace with her. I think it's more about placement. Not that she can't hit with a tremendous amount of pace, but I think she does a good job of selecting the spots on the floor.
Up into the banners for Creighton. Ends the KU run at 4. 21-13.
And that's Ballinger once again. She's going to rotate out those first 3 rows, but it's a good side out play for the Blue Jays. And Jess Bird now in for Creighton, the senior.
Kelsey Payne has to dance her way out of that one.
Jess Bird, number 13 for Creighton. Has had a wonderful career and started this season on that outside position, but Coach Bernthal Booth has given her such praise, saying, man, can't say enough about her character and what she's provided.
Lauren Smith for Creighton.
And our fellow senior, and Lauren Smith. It seems that, I know we've covered Creighton as they've been sitting here through the last 4 years, and it seems like, talking to their coach, I'm like, man, Lauren Smith's still there, and Jess Bird are still there. I mean, there's been 2 marquee names in a program.
The service there brings Kansas within 2 points of this 4th set. I know there's some opposing coaches who said, we're going to Perry Ellis's graduation at Kansas. I imagine
Yeah.
there's some coaches around the Big East that were to say the same thing. Great save from Cassie Waite.
A little bit of miscommunication there on who was going to play that ball. I think a smart choice, as Madison Rigdon was having to go work back for that, is just Addie Berry to call her off and go ahead and play that one over.
This is Lauren Smith. They let it go. Kansas with multiple set points now.
Serve and pass. You know, they're serving aggressive, but the last two serves from Creighton have been errors.
Set point, Kansas.
Rigdon fires.
And Witt, though.
Avili there to take it. Kelsey Payne. Long.
Point, Creighton.
First set point save for Creighton.
19, Nathan Ballinger.
They've got a long road back, down 24-16.
Set point, Kansas.
Avili sends it out to Burse. We're going to a fifth. Kansas takes it 25-16. We'll settle it in 5 from Lawrence. Kansas at Creighton. We're going to a fifth set here in Lawrence as the Jayhawks take the fourth, 25-16. Lee Fleisig, Jill Dorsey Hall with you, and boy, the Jayhawks showed some fire and some spark in that fourth set.
And they did. Backs against the wall. They had to win this, or to extend it to a fifth, but they had 2 aces, and they did not allow a Creighton ace. And now you look at it, when I talk about the game of pass and serve, it's been 9 service errors for either team and 7 service aces, but everything was rolling. And the Kansas defense, that play started everything off. And Jada Burse, man, I mean, she really came through, I thought, for the Jayhawks. There were some long rallies, a ball just thrown out there high and outside. She went after and got it. She played aggressive. She didn't shy away from it.
So who has the advantage here in this fifth set?
I mean, if anything goes. But interesting, Kansas is a perfect 8-0 in 5-set matches. On the other hand, Creighton, they're 2-3. But their last 2 matches that have been sent to 5, most recently last night against UNI, they were able to win. And so their non-con is when they struggled with some 5-set losses, one at the hands of Kansas.
Did you expect anything less? We're going to a fifth set. Creighton serves it up. Payne. Great save from Winters. Cassie Wade answers for Kansas. Back to Burse. Creighton on the board first.
And here Jada Burse is attacking, trying to go angle, gets the top of the net. So, man, Witt was there looking her on the back row, ready to gobble that one up.
Tough ball for Avili. Witt there to cover. Wilkinson. 2-0 Creighton.
A fast start right out of the gate. And we've seen Kansas in 5-set matches jump out, but Coach B quickly comes up and says, hey, start talking, because that ball might have been going out of bounds, but playing it. And Dimke has served aggressive.
Off the net. Cassie Wade there with a diving save. Payne puts it away.
Wow, that play from the senior. Holy smokes. Not many players are able to get to that. This very well could have been an ace, but instead, a play up with an outreached hand of Cassie Wade and up into Payne. And yeah, you should go and thank your libero there.
Cassie Wade saved the day on that one. Dimke has to dive. Really wants Susie. Dimke there to cover. Payne with a big block. We're at 2.
And I like that Payne stayed here on this back row attack. She stayed, she helped out Susie here, and it was about timing.
Wilkinson. Havili stabs it with the right hand. To Payne. Jayhawks put it away. 3 straight points now for Kansas as they take a 3-2 lead.
Man, I'm glad you're tuning into this one. This is a great one.
Wilkinson. Rigdon covers. Susie. Winters was there.
Might have been in the net.
Wade digs that one to Burse. Burse and Susie cover. Waite sends it over to Burse. Into Susie, the shot from Taryn Cloth.
How about the long rally from Creighton there? What a point. I thought throughout that play that maybe Kansas had the advantage as that rally, but you keep bettering the ball, you keep making some things happen if you're Creighton, and outlast that on that point. And brilliant shot in the seam from Cloth.
Avili wants Susie, the senior. No touch. Point to Creighton.
And back-to-back points now.
Kenzie Crawford, who's played such a big role
that one was
for
going.
Creighton. Really has to run across. Wick covers, chance for Creighton, winners. Burse. Crawford with a nice dig. Susie gets a block. Creighton can't keep it up. Even at 4.
How about this? Working laterally is Taylor Susie and gets it right actually off of Wilkinson's shoulder out of bounds. 12 team blocks for the Jayhawks. There had been a presence on at the plane of the net, and man, Witt just passing a perfect ball.
Avili works it back to Burse.
Wow.
That one's long. This match just passing 2 hours, and it's been a dandy. Brittany Witt serves. Susie.
And that it's great news for Kansas. I mean, because Witt has been great from the service line. She's caused a lot of issues. She has a couple aces, but that was a high, it was a taking with her hands. It was Cassie Waite in service reception. Smart choice. She's done that so well throughout her career. Controlled it.
This is Addie Berry for Kansas. Cassie Waite takes the shot. Rigdon off the net.
Whew.
Winners. Waite takes that one as well. Rigdon.
Man, Cassie Waite, the Big 12 Libero of the Year, taking shots. And then Havili to run that ball down. And how about that? On the run. I mean, that's as good of a set as you can get on the run, full speed up for Rigdon to attack.
Havili's work tonight. Winners. Goes right down the line, and it's perfect.
Yeah, Winners. Man, the stakes are high. She's such a winner as her demeanor, she wants it, and Coach Booth told me, she said, you know, it seems like when the stakes are a bit higher, it's when she thrives even more.
Really sends it back to Susie. Winners comes up big again. Jaylee Winners, the sophomore, gives Creighton a 7-6 lead.
This is a rotation that Kansas needs to try to get out of as quickly as they can. And Jaylee Winners on the front row for the Blue Jays has been such a power, 20 kills.
Back outside to Rigdon. Witt was there. That
Man.
shot wide.
Witt, man, just gobbling up some plays, and she has a smile on her face, and she should. I mean, she's out there having a good time.
It can't possibly get any tighter. 7-7 in the 5th. We're going to 15. Back to Winners. Big time play again. Creighton the first to 8. And we're taking a break. What a match. Creighton leads in the 5th set over Kansas here in Lawrence. How much fun is this? A 5th set with Creighton leading 8-7 here in Lawrence, Kansas over the hometown Jayhawks. Lee Fleisig, Jill Dorsey Hall with you, and I'm sure they've gone over this scenario in practice a time or two, but it's not with a Sweet 16 appearance on the line, is it?
Yeah, I mean, the stakes are just a bit higher, right? It's tournament time, and so who's going to come up here with some clutch big plays? And you got to be true to who you are as a team, but also scouting reports and matchups, and who's going to rise to the challenge and make some big plays. And I think both teams can't, take some pressure off from the service line. You got to serve aggressive.
And it's Jaylee Winters, first team All Big East sophomore, the tournament MVP. She's been good. Rigdon cuts a tough angle. Witt somehow got there. Payne has to run it down. Rigdon again. Witt with another great play. Hill battles at the net. Point to Kansas.
It wasn't from effort and great play from Witt. Lauren Smith almost got that one as Hill for Kansas kicks that overpass.
Cassie Waite with a great play. Libero for Libero. Zoe Hill got a block. Whew. Creighton keeps it alive. Avili. Hill missed.
I like the choice from Avili to Hill. And that one, you're going to your middle in transition, but just mistimes it. And back-to-back points now, teams trading points.
Kansas goes to Payne. And the player of the year in the Big 12 makes a big-time play.
I know we mentioned it earlier, but these two teams went 15-13 earlier in this season. Kansas won.
Payne got a hand on it and sent it back. Kansas takes the lead now at 10-9.
Yeah, Creighton has had the upper hand, but now two back-to-back points on this Payne block. It just has to hang in the air. I don't think it's a bad decision necessarily from Cloth, as she's had some success with this, but Payne not fooled and has to hang in the air. And man, the emotions are running high. Every point, everyone standing up on their feet. And there's been, epic play from the liberos on both sides. Cassie Waite, 24 digs. Witt has 19, but doesn't go to show you. Witt has done so much, I think, from providing with her service reception for Creighton. There's been phenomenal play from Payne, 22 kills. Jaylee Winters for Creighton, 21 kills. When you look at back and forth, that's why we're here. That's why we're in this fifth set. But it all started off, I think, Creighton up 2-0, and then that play from Cassie Waite, outreached hands to get that first point for Kansas. And look at a couple of those wonderful plays from Payne, and then Cassie Waite digging on the back row. Man, it's been all that we have asked for and all that we have wanted and expected.
As tight as it can be. Kansas up 10-9 in the fifth. The winner moves on to the Sweet 16. Rigdon fires away for Kansas. It's Marissa Wilkinson for the Creighton.
Man, on a play that was a tough serve, but Wilkinson rises up. And second in the kill category for Creighton with 12 on the night. Hitting only 235 though, so I mentioned it was going to be important to contain her below 400.
The overpass, and the Blue Jays make the Jayhawks pay.
Now back-to-back points now from Creighton, and it was an overpass. It was a ball I think that Cassie Waite just couldn't hold on to enough.
Taryn Cloth puts it away.
And here we are, just like that. Now Creighton with the upper hand, and Cassie Waite quickly says, that's my bad.
Now it's the Creighton fans with more life.
And late in this set, you know, I know that it's serving aggressive, but the last serve, Creighton was able to handle a very tough Rigdon serve, and now Kansas not able to handle that last serve, an overpass and an open net, and the Blue Jays with an easy kill. And neither team hitting blaring numbers in this fifth set. Creighton hitting 120 and Kansas hitting .087. And Kansas has 3 blocks in this fifth set. But Creighton has been able to outdig the Jayhawks, and now it's point for point, and who's just going to make a play?
Glad you're with us from Lawrence. It's been a great match. I think we have even more in store here. The Blue Jays lead at 11-10. We're going to 15.
Let's just make this one a series. Let's play best 2 out of 3. Let's just come back.
We could have just started this thing in the fifth set if you wanted to. You had a feeling this was going to go 5 sets.
I did. The first thing I said to you, I think, right?
Yep. Lydia Dimke will put it in play. Really sets it for Payne. Kansas gets it even at 11.
First team All-American performer, rising to the challenge. It wasn't for a great serve from Dimke. I think Kansas controlled it pretty well. And now Cassie Waite sometimes goes back here and serves a short serve. See if she's going to choose to do that, trying to disrupt the tempos, and she does. And Witt steps in now.
Wilkinson has it turned back by Susie. Susie again. They try her a third time. This time it goes through. Creighton 12-11.
Man, Susie was trying all that she could to get a block, but close. Off the net, and it was just more about mistiming here, as right in between.
Avili sets it for Payne. How about the one-handed set for Avili, and Payne puts it away.
Yeah, it was beautiful, but now Kelsey Payne's gonna rotate to the back row. And I know that she can do some things from the back row, but you have Jaylee Winters, your go-to for Creighton, and you have Kelsey Payne, your first team All-American, now on the back row.
And Wilkinson goes right to work.
And right to work, no doubt. And this is an interesting now rotation, as Witt has caused so many issues now for Kansas going back at the service line. And it's a rotation where Anissa Havili is on the front row, Taylor Susie, Jada Burse.
Avili dumps. Wide.
And here we are. It was a ball tight to the net. She didn't have a lot of room to work with. And let's take a look at it. And it was a serve here. It was an aggressive serve. Cassie Waite goes and misses it by quite a, I mean, Dimke was there, so she had a good look at it.
And that takes Creighton to match points.
Backs against the wall, and we talked about it with the Jayhawks a lot this season. When their backs against the wall, how are they going to respond? But if you're Creighton, you got to think, just control this, put some pressure. Put a ton of pressure, I think, if you're Witt, going back there serving aggressive. Limit the options. Kansas has Havili, their setter, in the front row, alongside Taylor Susie, who likes to run a slide attack, and Jada Burse on the outside. But they also have an option of Kelsey Payne on the back row.
One of these teams is going back to the Sweet 16. The season will end for the other. Phenomenal years for both. Creighton running through the Big East. Kansas with its first ever Big 12 championship.
And Creighton hasn't lost since the defeat in Nebraska, at Nebraska, middle of September. So they haven't had since a defeat for quite some time. And showing why, you know, they had a tough fourth set, but they've churned out their play in this fifth set, but really it's been neck to neck. in this fifth.
It's the freshman, Brittany Witt, stepping back to serve. Match points in her hand. Kansas lets it go, and the Jayhawks save one match point. That was close.
And I heard it all the way from here, out loudly and confidently. Yeah, that was pretty clearly there, out.
But it was Payne who had to dance out of the way of that one.
She did, no doubt. And I like this timeout, I think, from Kirsten Bernthal Booth, you know, to settle her team down. And the crowd here, you know, is getting loud and saved one, but Kansas has to save another. So if you're Creighton, hey, do what we do. Set the ball up and maybe pass the ball up, get a good, you know, set, and talk about your options or matchups right now.
When you practice, is there a go-to play? Is there something in the back of your coach's playbook that they bring out for situations just like this?
Not necessarily. I just play aggressive, you know. I mean, it does come down to what rotation you're in, what matchups are there. But in this scenario, it's, hey, someone will go out there and make a play. First contact's so important, though, you know. Be in system right now if you're Creighton.
Lauren Smith.
And look
Megan
at
Ballinger.
And Dimke out there talking to her team.
Jaylee Winters. All have had an outstanding night. And it's Addie Berry.
And you got to
Back
wonder
to serve for Kansas.
if it's not going to be Jaylee Winters to get the ball. I mean, I don't think anybody would be fooled by that, but Addie Berry going back to serve for the Jayhawks. And first things first, you got to serve tough.
She has served it tight to that net.
I don't know if anybody in this crowd wants this one to, they can keep playing here, but hopefully Creighton wants to take care of this right now. Ooh.
Creighton has trouble handling it, and we're even at 14. The Jayhawks save another match point.
And I was wondering if this one was going to be called, but I think this is the right call. There was too much rotation on that.
Good serve from Addie Berry.
It's unfortunate. I mean, Lauren Smith just had to play that ball up, but.
They go to Winters. Off the ceiling, still in play, but bounces over the Kansas bench. It'll be a third match point for the Blue Jays.
We get a little extra volleyball now. And Jaylee Winters, though, just calm, cool, and collected.
This is Amanda Foji. To Rigdon. Great save from Crawford. Rigdon again. Kansas fights off a third match point.
Rigdon back to back, give it right back to her. And Mad Dog. And this is just epic, back and forth, back and forth. Maggie Anderson serving specialist for the Jayhawks. No team able to notch that ace in this fifth set. Both are stuck at 7. Creighton had that one service error on match point, though. They had 10 service errors, Kansas 9.
Maggie Anderson. Winters. Puts it through for Creighton. Kansas will face a fourth match point. How many times can they battle back? And it's Jaylee Winters who goes back to serve.
And once again, Kelsey Payne on the back row. You have Zoe Hill. You got Madison Rigdon.
Wade sends it to Rigdon. With there to cover.
Any chance here.
Winters. Cassie Wade for Kansas. Payne.
And a roll
Couldn't
shot.
get a full swing on it. Hill was there for Kansas. Rigdon again.
Leaf right here to you.
I ducked out of the way as Kansas saves a fourth match point.
Man, and Creighton had their opportunity in that point, no doubt. I mean, there was a couple roll shots, but Kansas somehow outlasting the Blue Jays on that point. And the service error, though, from Anissa Havili. Now once again now. But they have Kelsey Payne in the front row. Lauren Smith has been good from the service line herself.
Does Kansas have another life? A fifth match point. Havili wants Payne. No, it's long.
Touch, and there's a touch, and there's a touch. And I'm not sure if he's gonna overrule it, but man, he was a touch. I believe that the line official on the other side saw a touch, and they cannot replay. They cannot go to the screen and look at this. But this is, oh man.
Oh, wow.
And this is when you think replay would be so nice to have. But was there a touch?
Boy, that's close.
And I think there might have been, though. Look at this hand here. Just says get enough. And there was a touch.
They give the point to Kansas. There was a touch. 5 match points fought off by the Jayhawks. Unbelievable.
If your heart's not going, I don't know what will get you going right now.
And now Creighton has to play it again. After thinking the match was theirs.
And you wonder if maybe a replay, but no. I mean, there's a official chose to.
Rigdon serves. Wilkinson off the Kansas hands. It'll be a 6th match point for Creighton.
And Wilkinson going up and providing that offensive firepower on that right side. Kansas getting out there enough to close that one in. And Demke, too, here now serving once again for the Blue Jays.
Havili sets it for Payne.
Wow, that's set from Havili. I mean, that's an All-American type play. Look at this. Go up and get it.
I will say this about the call. The call was immediate.
It was immediate. It was, yep.
Thought that he saw it. They called in and conferred with all the officials. We're at 18 all.
Yeah, but the celebration was being had on the floor, too.
Wilkinson. Great play by the Jayhawks to keep it alive. Wilkinson again. Susie and Burst were there. Cassie Wade dives and saves it.
Wilkinson maybe, no?
Payne stuffs it. Wilkinson this time. Point to Creighton.
And out, yeah. Once again. Here we go, are you gonna fight again? And Jaylee Winters on the front row. Kenzie Crawford.
7th match point.
I think we should just play to 25. Let's just keep going. Here we are.
We're just about there. Crawford serves. Havili wants Payne.
Wonderful play from Wilkinson.
This time it counts. Creighton is moving on to the Sweet 16.
Now the celebration for real this time. Officials are out. A clean play.
What a match.
Congrats to the Blue Jays. That was a good one. You hate for either team to lose that. But man, when you're talking about an epic battle, that was a great one. NCAA tournament time. Congratulations. There hasn't been a team this season to upend the Big 12 champions in a 5th set. They were perfect 8-0 up until now.
A well-deserved celebration for the Creighton Blue Jays. We're going back to the Sweet 16. A hard-fought victory over the Kansas Jayhawks. A big thank you to the SIDs from both schools, Brian Karst of Kansas, Rob Anderson of Creighton, 2 of the best in the business. Big thank you to our Rock Chalk video crew, Todd Kober, courtside with us. To watch this entire broadcast as well as other events on our family of ESPN networks, log on to watchespn.com or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. For Jill Dorsey Hall, I'm Lee Fleisig. saying goodnight from Lawrence. Creighton advances, winning in 5.